tell me a little bit about that fantastic discovery of the Higgs boson and the boson with a capital B, I must say, and what is also called the God particle, because we have that in our title. And you were part of that.
Absolutely. I mean, so the Higgs boson was one piece of the standard model that was a missing piece. Now, what is the standard model? The standard model is a theory that describes the known particles, the fundamental particles of the universe, fits them very neatly into families, fundamental building blocks, and the forces, the four forces, the strong, the nuclear force, the electromagnetic force, and gravity together into this, just like the periodic table, right? So in the periodic table, there were predictions of new elements, and then they were found. And these predictions were based not just on any whim or fancy, they were based on the properties of groups and periods, like in the periodic table. So the standard model describes very well on how the universe began after the Big Bang. The particles, they are created. So many particles have been discovered, and all the particles can be neatly arranged in the standard model. And by a famous equation that you have seen many times on, that explains the forces and the masses, in fact. So in 1964, Professor Higgs postulated how mass would come about, which means that when the Big Bang happened, all particles were moving around freely. They did not have any mass. They were massless. But with an interaction mechanism of this Higgs boson with a big B, the particles acquired mass, right? So this boson should be found, just like the W and the Z bosons were found, which actually are responsible for the weak force. Similarly, this Higgs boson needed to be found to complete the theory. And for several decades, scientists, engineers, researchers, experimental particle physicists were after this. The difficulty is that it's very improbable to create it. You need a huge amount of energy. You need a huge amount of data. You need precision measurements, and you need hundreds of collaborators who will be looking at the data to separate the one needle from several haystacks.